In this session, you'll learn how to select the best anchor for your boat and the waters where you will be anchoring. You'll also learn how to set your anchor taking into account wind and current, other boats, and hazards in your environment.
And you'll learn how to safely and smoothly depart from your point of anchorage.
What problems are we trying to avoid?
Not selecting the optimal size and type of anchor for your boat, expected uses, and local conditions.
Not attaching a chain and line of proper length and weight.
Failing to consider the area in which you intend to anchor for sufficient space in which to drift.
Not instructing your passengers or crew on their roles to play.
Not attaching the anchor line to your boat before dropping the anchor overboard.
And failing to have a smooth departure from the anchorage after performing a proper lookout. So how do we do it right? First, select the optimal type of anchor and size for your boat and expected anchoring, taking into account all relevant factors, including weather and tidal conditions, the type of seabed where you plan to boat, and the size and weight of your boat. Check with area boaters and marinas for help determining the best type of anchor for local conditions. Next, attach a chain of appropriate weight and strength to prevent chafing and help your anchor set by weighing down the line at a horizontal angle. A 6 to 10 foot chain is sufficient for most recreational boats. Then attach a line of appropriate weight and strength. Its length should be approximately 10 times the depth of the deepest area where you expect to anchor.
Place the anchor, chain, and line, called rode when used with an anchor, neatly coiled and ready for use in your boat's anchor locker or bow pulpit. Permanently attach the end of the rode to a fitting in the locker or a cleat on the bow of your boat before you start the anchoring process so you don't lose your anchor. Plan to anchor in an area that is clear of boat traffic and other environmental hazards. If unfamiliar with the area, consult a chart that will show the type of seabed, such as sand, mud, or rocks. Carefully inspect the anchorage for sufficient space to drift a full 360 degrees with a radius 10 times the depth of the water where you intend to drop anchor, and conduct a proper lookout. Plan the correct scope or length of rode, depending on conditions, as a multiple of the water depth plus boat height to bow connection point. 7 times that distance for normal conditions, 5 times for light conditions, or 10 for windy conditions. Use a depth finder or chart to determine how deep the water is. Measure your properly scoped rode using line marks or arm spans, which are approximately 6 feet for adults. Then tie off the anchor rode after measuring at the predetermined point. Brief your onboard guests on the anchoring plan and their individual responsibilities. Slow your boat to minimum control speed and bring it to a stop at the intended anchor point. Maintain your position and start to lower the anchor, ensuring that the rode does not become tangled until the anchor strikes bottom. Then use a slow, smooth backwards maneuver to set the anchor. Continue slowly backing up and putting out the full length of rode, usually 7 times the distance from the attachment point on your bow to the seabed. Confirm that the rode is securely attached to its bow cleat and use a small short burst of power in reverse to set the anchor. Turn off the engine. Periodically, about once an hour, check to ensure your anchor is holding. Compare your location to stationary objects on land.
When your period at anchor is complete, as the first step in getting underway, complete a full circle lookout. Brief your passengers and crew on your retrieval plan and their individual responsibilities. Start the engine and advance forward slowly until directly over the anchor. Be sure the person on the bow retrieves the rode as the boat moves toward the anchor. Take special care not to allow the rode to become tangled in the propulsion unit. It may be difficult for the boat operator to see the anchor line, so the person on the bow may need to use hand signals to help: left, right, slow down, or stop. Hold in place directly over the anchor as it's unset, and then retrieve it. If needed, take a few turns of the rode over the cleat, and then make a small short forward burst of power to free the anchor. After ensuring that everyone on board, and especially anyone on the bow, knows what you're doing, coil the line and chain during retrieval to facilitate ease of use for your next anchoring. Clean mud and debris from the anchor by raising and lowering it at the surface of the water before bringing it on board. Use care to ensure that neither the anchor nor chain strikes the boat. Detach the line from your bow cleat and secure the anchor, chain, and line in the anchor locker or bow pulpit. Before departing, conduct a 360-degree lookout and throttle up smoothly from the anchorage and maintain minimal speed until clear of surrounding boats.
With practice, you'll be able to set your properly selected anchor in various conditions, taking into account wind and current, other boats, and hazards in your environment. You'll systematically use effective planning and communications techniques with your passengers or crew, and you'll safely and smoothly depart from your point of anchorage.